Now, we are exactly 1 week from the deadline to register to vote for the Texas primary, and the wintry weather impacting the state could affect some last-minute efforts to add people to the voter rolls or to get their information updated ahead of this election. Let's discuss that, along with the status of one key primary race that voters will decide, with our guest today. Christina Zitzun Ramirez is a partner at Ascend Strategy Labs. She is also an activist and an organizer for voting and workers' rights here in the state. And you may remember that she ran for U.S. Senate as a Democrat back in 2020. Christina, welcome to the show, and thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I want to go over your resume just a little bit more so that people understand the context. So one of the organizations you helped to create here in Texas is JOLT, which sought to mobilize Latino voters here in the state. You also served as the president of Next Gen America, the largest youth voting rights organization in the country. So with all that experience, I'm hoping you can share some insight about this. What would you say is the interest level right now for people to register to vote in this election, given that that key deadline to do it in time is approaching so quickly?
Well, I think a lot of people are paying attention to politics. People are simultaneously angry at Congress for their failure to really move policy forward. This is the least active or successful Congress in history as far as legislation. And people at the same time we see a lot of people, especially in the Democratic primary, angry at the Trump administration for many of its policies, similar to what we saw happen in Minneapolis, and see the urgency of registering to vote. So I see there's a lot of excitement and energy because people realize how much elections matter right now.
Okay, February 2nd is the last day that you all can register to vote for the primary. We'll just put that out there again. Just taking a look back at what happened this weekend, we saw some members of the Texas AFL-CIO take no action on endorsing either Jasmine Crockett or James Tallarico in the U.S. Senate primary. That came just a day after the two candidates debated in front of that union up in Georgetown. So how notable is it that there came no endorsement from that for these two campaigns?
Well, I think what we're seeing between Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico is that people see that it's a pretty even race right now. And so it's not surprising that they didn't take an endorsement. But I think what is notable is just a few months ago we had a very different Democratic primary we were expecting. Colin Allred stepped back, and I think why we're seeing the race we're seeing is because we have two candidates that are very stern on their values, willing to fight and punch back, and willing to do the work to really expand the Democratic primary. It looks like this could be a close race, not just in the primary, but in the general, whoever becomes the candidate.
You highlight that word fighter. That came up a lot during the debate too. Is that part of what will ultimately seal the deal for one of these Democrats to advance in the primary and go to the general?
Yeah, I think that people want someone that's very values driven, someone that's willing to fight back and stand up for the little guy. We are living in one of the most unequal times in our country, and where issues around race and who gets to be an American are at the center, and both of them tackle that issue in a different way. And so they're speaking, I think, to Texans and Americans in a different way, and so they have different strategies about how they're going to get the vote out and win this race. For me, the big question is the Latino vote. Neither of them naturally have that voting bloc in their as part of their base, and so they have to go fight for that voting bloc.
And we've seen support for Democrats, particularly among Latino voters here in Texas, weaken a bit, especially in some of the more recent big elections out there. Are the candidates that we're seeing right now, are they doing enough to perhaps reverse that trend, do you think?
Look, in Texas, 1 in 5 Latinos in the whole United States, we live right here in Texas. And you can't win without exciting the Latino vote. And I think Democrats at times have taken our vote for granted. And I don't think it's a bad thing that there is a portion of the Latino electorate that's up for grabs. That means go do the work, speak to this population. The truth is that Latinos, in my mind, many of us are neither Republicans or Democrats. We're poor. We are the least likely to go to college, the most likely to make under $15 an hour, the most likely to die on the job. So how are these candidates reaching and speaking to the true economic pain, but also the power of this community? And the last thing I'll say is we're an extremely young electorate. And so you have to also be able to engage young Latinos. The average age the most common age for a white American is 55, African American 27, and for a Latino American, it's 11.
All right, well, this will be so fascinating to watch moving forward, and this is only the beginning of our conversation. So Christina, we hope that you'll come back at some point and talk more about this. But thank you again for being with us today.
Thanks so much.